Health Forum Leadership Summit attendees. Hear renowned architect Michael Graves discuss his amazing story as a rehabilitating hospital patient and how this personal experience has inspired him to improve hospital environments through better design. This Thursday at 7 p.m. right here in the Marriott Marquis Clubroom. Sponsored by Antimicrobial Copper.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, world-renowned architect Michael Graves. Michael Graves, you'll know his name. He's bringing his eye for design and detail to a brand new setting, not buildings, but rooms in hospitals. Just ahead, he'll tell us about his own healthcare reform initiative. Every day in Mission Possible, we bring you somebody who's really applied themselves to changing the world. Now, this is a world-renowned architect and designer who's now trying something a little more personal. Michael Graves, boy, you've probably heard his name. He's a major player in the world of architecture. Landmark buildings around the globe. You're looking at the Walt Disney World Dolphin, which he designed, but just one of many hundreds of buildings. He's also made another name for himself as a product designer. His line of goods, home goods in Target stores, more than 2,500 items. That's a toaster. Look at that. Coolest toaster you've seen in a long time. But now he's moving past skyscrapers, soup, spoons. He's moving into hospitals. Michael Graves joins me from New York. Good to have you on the show. Thank you for being with us.
Nice to be here.
You are, I would say, more than an architect and a designer, you're a bit of a design freak. So here you are sitting in hospital, I don't know when it was, some time ago, something landed you in hospital and you decided this wasn't up to snuff, this wasn't up to standard. You needed hospitals and hospital rooms to look better.
I was paralyzed 7 years ago, and from that time on, I've been in 8 hospitals. And when you live in a hospital, you realize as an architect, designer, you can do better. And people shouldn't have to suffer the kind of environments that they do in some of our better hospitals. So we just added it to our plate in the office and said, let's take on healthcare. So we have 2 initiatives. One is to design things for the retail market, things you can buy at your local drugstore, and the other is to design products for the hospital room. However, on top of that, we are just now becoming engaged with a group known as Anchor Health to add ambulatory cares to in a kind of satellite pattern around major hospitals. Now, that's crucial for the hospital because the hospital can get rid of certain kinds of activities like MRIs and non-ambulatory work. So all of that can be done in these smaller buildings. So from the building to the fittings inside the building, we hope to bring a better experience to the patient.
Well, what's interesting about you is that you're world-renowned and you've been responsible for so many great buildings, but the reality is your design aesthetic is accessible to people, including, for instance, the fact that they can buy things designed by you at Target. When we think about a hospital room and we think about fixing our environs, we're so sort of hung up on cost in the medical system. Can you make better environments for people in hospitals without them being outrageously expensive?
I think, like the Target model you cited, we can not only make them better, we can make them operate better, in other words, better function, but we can also make a better cost. There are things that have gotten too big in the hospital environment and need to go on a diet. And so we've tried that with great success. So I don't think the cost will be our problem. I would imagine that the cost in some of our ambulatory care centers will be an issue as we get going. How do we bring buildings that should be done in multiples into a very cost-conscious environment?
But if we're redesigning the healthcare system, we might as well redesign every part of it, including what those rooms look like. Let's talk a little about other projects that you're on. You've done so many things. What are you sort of proudest of, and what's your next big thing?
Well, right now we're finishing a project off the coast of Singapore in Sentosa, and that's the largest thing we've done. It's about a $4 billion project. So there's a lot there. It's next to a Universal theme park. This is a family resort, 6 hotels we designed, a maritime museum, retail, all of that. And Sentosa is going to be a new destination for a lot of folks. One of the interesting things for me is that the client, the developer, named one of the hotels after me. And so not only did we get to design it, but we get to call it
Well, that's
that
all
too.
right.
So it's the Hotel Michael.
You were telling my producer that
And
one of the things you like the best that you're working on is your own home.
always. I suppose I read something of Thomas Jefferson's the other day, and he said, it's always best to come home to Monticello. Well, for me, it's my warehouse in Princeton. It's not Monticello, but it is my haven.
Michael Graves, what a pleasure to talk to you, an honor to talk to you here. You're an inspiration for what you do, and thanks for not only doing all these great things to make our environment better, but you know, doing it in a way that that addresses a lot of people, making it accessible to people. Mostly we think of architecture as a high-end thing that's out of most of our reach.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good to talk to you. Michael Graves, a famous architect and designer.